What it do, baby? Welcome back to another episode of Bench Player Sports Podcast. I'm glad that you're here, watching, subscribing. Thank you for following us on Spotify, and we are officially on podcast now. Was it Apple Music? I don't know what it's called, but we're there. Look for us, and we'll pop up. You know, the more we record these episodes, the more the more famous we're gonna become. So I'm excited for this community of 2.5 people grow. But I hope you had a wonderful week. Thank you for asking. I I had a very low-key week. A lot of things to do, but it was all kind of like nothing really happening, which is fine. It's good. It's a necessary thing in life, you know. Sometimes you have good weeks where it's like super busy, super happy, you fall asleep super tired. But there are weeks where it's like, you know, nothing happened during the week. Maybe the weekend is gonna be lit, and I feel like that's where I come in. I had a very low key week so that I could, you know, stay up for the weekends for the games. So I'm suffering on your behalf as well, right? Anyways, before we jump into our NFL playoff divisional round prediction that I have compiled, I've been reading some stats and kind of dividing on where exactly my opinion should fall upon, because this is a very, apart from like, what is it, the regular season, right, the 17 weeks that we have, 17 glorious weeks. My fiance hates me on those 17 weeks. All I'm asking is for 17 weeks out of the year. That's it. I just 17 Sundays. Don't bother me on Sundays. Sometimes Mondays. Maybe on Thursdays, right? But listen, I live in Europe. All these games, I can watch like 2-3 games on, what is it? Yeah, on Sunday. Everything else is just, you know, fantasy football, which I'm super excited for next year. I'm getting much, much better at fantasy football. That's gonna be this year was my second year that I've been doing it, and let me tell you, it's been very it's been a very humbling experience. I'm gonna say that. That's it. I did not win or lose. It was a humbling experience. Anyway, but yeah, I'm really excited to see how you can predict games during the regular season, but you cannot predict them on the playoff. I mean, sure, you know, left and right, you can, you know, guess who's going to be much better than somebody else, especially in one game in particular that we're going to be discussing later. It's kind of tough to predict because, again, if you think they were so good during the regular season. I mean, obviously, I'm talking about the 49ers, the number 1 seed, the Ravens. You know, those teams. It's kind of hard not to predict when you know they've done so much during the regular season. But at the same time, I'm still disappointed with Vikings versus Saints game. I just really wanted the Saints to win. I thought they would, and you know, we're talking about some irregularity that I don't know how it happened. It was 3 minutes on the clock, and it just went downhill from there, man. Downhill from there. As I'm sipping in my office, drinking some coffee. News, right? This is gonna be a new segment on our show. First things news, something like that. I don't know. We'll come up with it later, but just want to talk about different news that happened in the sports arena, in the NFL. Wow, I feel like I need to applaud this to the Jerry Jones. Hold on. There you go. I think that counted as applause. Jerry Jones, man, my guy. This gentleman, listen. The guy, what is he? He got rich off of... Sorry. Before, the backstory's later. Cowboys, congrats to the Cowboys, the coach of the Dallas Cowboys. Not sure what will happen, but you know, here we are. Dallas Cowboys finally fired Garrett. What's his name? Jason Garrett. He was coach of the year in 2015? 2016. Which, bro, the Dallas Cowboys lost the first game in the playoffs against Green Bay Packers. And oh man, 32 seconds on the clock, fourth quarter. All of a sudden, all of a sudden, it was like was it 32-30 or 32-31? Dallas is in the lead, and we're so terrified that the Green Bay is gonna kick, right? So the defense is playing really strong, right? The defense was like one of the top defenses, like top 10, top 5 defense in the league that season. And the Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers, 32 seconds left. He throws the most ridiculous Hail Mary that he's ever done. And they score a touchdown. Oh man, it was not like they counted that as a catch, you know? But again, like Des Bryant, was that a catch? But anyway, so congrats to the new coach. It's gonna be interesting to see. It's gonna be interesting to see how he's gonna react. How not just him getting used to the coaching role, but the team getting used to him. Because I think that the one thing that on the news, everybody's like, Jason Garrett is done because he didn't bring anybody. Like, there's so much talent, but they keep on losing, and everybody's like, all right. The talent's not wrong because they keep on catching, they keep on throwing. But it's the play calling, the coaching that's something that's underdividing. You know, maybe it's not just Jason Garrett. Maybe it's also the defensive line. You know, maybe I don't know. We'll see. I'm Dallas Cowboys fan for the next year, and we'll see after that because I'm really tired. I'm really tired. So anyway, what's another news? Second big one is Tom Brady. So, obviously we talked about on the last podcast about Patriots losing to the Titans, which Titans, you deserve what's coming your way. Good job. Good. I don't want to, I hate saying that, like, I don't like when people say, oh, the Patriots didn't give their best. No. They gave their best. It's just the Titans were better than the Patriots. So it's not about Patriots, sitting back and enjoying pina coladas. Like, we're talking about Titans being more superior team. So, congrats to the Titans. Tom Brady, apparently, his contract is expiring. He's going to be a free agent. He can walk anywhere. And everybody has an opinion. And obviously, your boy has an opinion. But I think that, I don't know. How do I politely say I couldn't care less? Here's the thing. Here's my perspective, right? I think that Tom Brady, he's a great quarterback. I do believe that despite him having he has a very fast release, right? The moment he gets the ball, boom, he releases it. Like he safely stays in the pocket. He knows when to release it, and has wide receivers, tight ends. He knows them well, and he knows how to play his offensive line, right? I think that he would. Okay, if he would stay, right? Tom Brady is not. I think he's the. How do I say this? He's one of the greats. I guarantee you, and I definitely label him as the. If you do not label him as the GOAT, I'm sorry. You've been missing out on the past 20 years of his career. From the beginning till the end. I've been a huge fan just because the kid doesn't give up. He's 42. He still plays in 6 Super Bowls in his hands. I definitely want him to get 7th just so that we could commander, I don't know how to say that word, so that we could mark the history of him being one of the greatest. The greatest. I'm sorry. And then, so if he stays, I guarantee you that that's something that's very useful. He's not Russell Wilson. He's not Drew Brees, where you're like, wow, like Drew Brees. I think he won 1 Super Bowl, right? But just like the legacy that comes with Drew Brees and how everybody approaches Drew Brees is so much different how people approach Tom Brady, because Tom Brady is under so much scrutiny, under so much judgment. But again, uh, Drew Brees doesn't have 6 Super Bowls. Tom Brady does. So like, how can you argue? Like, sure, go ahead. But anyway, um, will Tom Brady walk away from the Patriots? Um, I don't care. My opinion is I don't care. If he walks away, that's great. Cool. I see the Patriots giving themselves 3 years bouncing back. Third year after Tom Brady left, being in the divisional playoffs, second round playoff. Great. I think the fourth year is when they're going to be competing for the Super Bowl. It's not. I mean, obviously, it's about the Patriots, right? It's about them paying more to him, and I think he wants more money because he deserves more money, right? But at the same time, it's about Bill Belichick. Is he willing to have him back on the team? And they had this chemistry for so long. I mean, it's when we talk about the Patriots, we talk about Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. When we talk the Super Bowl, we talk about the Patriots. When we talk about Patriots, we talk about Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. So, yeah, it's a conversation that's like, your life is not going to be ruined by these news. So why are we, if he's gonna, what is it? I heard the rumor that Tom Brady's gonna go to, the Chargers, right? San Diego Chargers. Cool. I mean, I would, because Tom Brady is from California, so I don't know. It would be interesting to see him in those colors. It would be definitely something to get used to. But he's 42. I don't think he wants to play. He's probably gonna play another 2 years, but he's not ready to play. He's not ready to play for another team and get used to that, and then try to win a Super Bowl. All he wants to do is just win a Super Bowl, and I think the best options for him is the Patriots. Guarantee you that. But But yeah, so it's gonna be interesting. It's definitely gonna be interesting. A lot of what is it? Redskins are getting a new coach. Uh, who else? I think the Jets are getting a new coach, but I feel like that's every year. The Jets, man. Uh, I'm looking forward. That's gonna be on the episode. I'll be sharing more of my predictions for the 101 year for NFL, for next season. But if I get to share a little bit of that right here, I would say that there's a few teams that I would be looking forward to see next year, and what is it? Bills. I would be curious to see the Giants. Um, who else? Packers, yes. If well, I don't know. Packers would be curious, but not really. Not really. Packers have been so. It's been boring to watch. Unless they're in the playoffs, it's been boring to watch them. Um, Chargers, and then I'm not. I think that so far these teams are like, I'm curious how they're gonna come back from this season. Texans obviously, but Texans have been pretty decent. Texans have been, I've been enjoying watching them. It's been quite enjoyable. You know, it's been trivial. It's been trivial. Anyway, let's jump into our predictions, right? Who's gonna be playing who? Why do I think they're gonna win? And again, I want to hear your opinion. I want to hear your thoughts on it. I want to hear, what do you think about it? Because it's not just about me voicing my opinion. It's about us having a conversation. Me sharing my opinion and you're sharing your opinion, and us enjoying this beautiful sport of football, and understanding that whatever happens on the field. We are bench players. We are all bench players. These are our opinions. So anyway, the first game that is gonna air on Saturday is Vikings versus 49ers. I'll definitely be watching, so I'll give my I'll know play by play. I don't have to watch any highlights or go back and sit through all the commercials again. I'll be watching it right there. Vikings versus 49ers. I think Vikings, who barely got where they need to be versus the Saints, and the 49ers, who dominated the whole season. I think that the Vikings will be running the ball more than throwing, where Sherman will, dictate the pace that the Vikings are playing. I think that the 49ers will be much better at throwing the ball and getting more touchdowns. However, I don't know. I think the Vikings will try to the Vikings will not try. They will try to intercept the ball rather than go blitz. I think that's gonna be my prediction because Jimmy G is very comfortable in his pocket, and they are not trying to give that up. It's not gonna be that simple for them. So there you go. I think the only thing is that I think the 49ers should be careful with how they call their plays. I think that the way they strategically plan out the whole game, they planned from the first quarter to the fourth quarter, and even though overtime, I think that they need to. I would love to see some 2-point conversions to see how that's gonna play out. But yeah, I think the Vikings. Oh God, they better, if they have a chance to a field goal instead of a touchdown, go for the field goal. Don't field goal. There you go. Don't be a hero. Please don't be a hero. So last time they played together, it was Vikings won 24-16. So it's gonna be interesting. It was last season. I can't remember. It was like September or October, but anyway. So yeah, I think my money is in 49ers. Vikings versus 49ers, 49ers. Next game is going to be on Saturday. Is Titans versus the Ravens. I don't know. Seeing them playing versus the Patriots, I think that it was something that stood out to me big time. We're talking about okay, so Ravens, right? Let me talk about Ravens for a bit. Lamar Jackson is. They say he's the star of the offensive line because he's a quarterback that did 1,000 yards, which is it probably takes 10 years for Tom Brady to get to 1,000 rushing yards. But we have Lamar Jackson and what's his name? Andrews. Matthew Andrews? Oh man, I always forget. Andrews. I had him on my fantasy tight end. I had him on flex. I had him on flex because I had somebody else on my tight end. Anyway, so he would be averaging. We're talking about between 5 and 15 points. It's like 9 points. I'm sorry. What kind of math is that? He's averaging between 5 and 15, bro. It's a huge difference. No, but it says he was averaging 9 points, but I'm telling you, he would have a game that he has 2 points, and then 3 next games that he has 12, 15, 18 points. So it's crazy. Sometimes he got more points than my wide receivers, which is crazy. But anyway, I think it's going to be a tough and high-scoring game. I think that the Ravens will try their best to score as many touchdowns as possible. They'll use trick moves. If everybody's covered, they'll try their best to blitz Lamar Jackson. But again, Lamar Jackson, I think they handcrafted their plays to fit Lamar Jackson, not Lamar Jackson getting used to the plays. I think it's both. I think it's a both. I take that back. I think it's a both where they understand his strengths and weaknesses and they try to accommodate that, and at the same time he's doing his best to be who he was meant to be. And again, like a lot of teams passed on him, and I think it's just his way of saying, look at me now. So so I think it's going to be a tough and a high-scoring game. Ravens would win because of Lamar Jackson and how the organization built the offensive line based off of him. How everybody, not because they were choosing who's going to be playing on the offensive line, but it's more of like where everybody's stationed. And I mean, obviously, yeah, they're going to be running the ball more often. because they're what is number one or number two rushing yards team on this season. So anyway, the last time they last time they met, it was, last time they played, it was in 2018, which Ravens won 21-0. So um I mean, obviously, you can't judge this season team, but again, that's something that they have in the back, where it's like, okay, I want to win, I want to win. So Titans, all the best of luck, but I guarantee you, this is the game that I would be like, I would want the Titans to win, but I'm sorry, the way you guys have been playing, the way the Ravens have been playing, it's kind of tough not to predict that the Ravens are playing, So, I mean, Henry, you're a special talent, but there's just more talent in Baltimore. I mean, obviously, giving Henry the ball, throwing it to him, again, it will be a very interesting game to watch, and it starts at 1 a.m. my time here in Belgium, but I don't know. We'll see. It's gonna be very interesting. All right, all right. So the third game that we're gonna have, this is first game on Sunday now. So Texans versus the Chiefs. Um, this is the game that I'll be watching. Oh my God, this is gonna be. All of these games are interesting, except for Vikings 49ers. I don't like Vikings. I'm like a personal vendetta because they won. They beat the Saints. Now I'm gonna be like, ugh, 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 Vikings. Anyway. So Texans versus the Chiefs. This is gonna be a tough one. Um, oh man. Okay. I before I watched Texans beat the Bills, I thought this would be easy. Chiefs winning, having an extra 7 points in their back pocket. So meaning like it would be like 14. It would be like 14-22, something like that, and the Chiefs winning, right? However, Texans have been awfully. It's just been an amazing time to watch them. It's been not just amazing. I feel like I'm understating that fact. It's been very, like, okay, as an example, let's take Texans versus the Bills, right? The last game that they played. Uh, what is it? They had, oh my goodness, I totally forgot. I'm blanking out. It was, oh man, what was it? Was like 16-0 in the third quarter, something like that. We're talking about like they got two touchdowns and a field goal. So 14 plus 3, so 17. Anyway, man, I don't know how to count. So let's say 17 or 20-0, whatever, right? Texans, I guarantee you, everybody's like, when I was watching it, at the end of the third quarter, I'm like, oh, there's no way. Fourth quarter, bro, listen, there's fourth quarter, they were still so behind, and it was like 5 minutes. I'm like, you know what, 5 minutes is good. 4 minutes, I'm like, you can play like with 4 minutes, you can do damage. However, we're talking about them. We're talking about them coming back, was it 2020, and then winning, catching a touchdown. Was it? Yeah, it was a touchdown. And beating the Bills in the overtime. The sheer spirit of them understanding that they have to win this game. It's not about scoring; it's about winning, and there's a difference. I definitely feel like there's a difference. Because the Bills were scoring, they were trying to score, right? As get as many points as possible, and then I think they got too comfortable, and it's not to judge them. That's to judge every single team. They're like, okay, we're two touchdowns ahead of them. There's no point, right? But who knows? Who knows? So I think that the Texans have a lot to offer in the last couple of minutes. Their spirit is not going to be broken. And then we have J.J. Watt, who's healthy and able to play. And then we have Um, we have the Chiefs' offense. Honestly, their defense is really good. I'm gonna give you that. The Chiefs' defense is really good, but um, yeah, but it's gonna be a tough one to watch. I think Chiefs will obviously throw more. It wouldn't make sense if they don't throw. I think that they're gonna be doing something along the lines of if throwing. Say 3-1, so throwing 3 times and then running the ball once or something like that. I do think that this game is gonna go in overtime. Um, and then last meet that they had, Texans won 17-10 in 2018. Watson ran more than he threw, and I think that's something that's gonna be in his back pocket at all times. So whatever happens, I think he's gonna be running running more than he's going to be running more than throwing if it comes down to dangerous plays. So we'll see. He's very Deshaun Watson is very smart when it comes down to depicting the defense and how they play, right? So we'll see. We'll see. Each game is super funny, super interesting to watch, and I don't know. I think all of these games is going to be, especially the next one, Packers versus the Seahawks. It's going to be one of those games that you have to stay until the end. You can't predict the outcome. You can't predict what is it? The final score in third quarter, because you never know what's gonna happen in the fourth quarter. Honestly, sit there until the end, or watch this or listen to this podcast on Monday. We'll talk about it. There you go. So I think Chiefs are gonna win Texas. I'm sorry. And then you have Packers versus Seahawks. Boy, oh boy, how many? I guarantee you, everybody's like Packers. Packers are gonna win. There's a few probably that's gonna say Seahawks, and I'm with the Seahawks. I think that I've never seen more. I've seen more Aaron Rodgers, and this game pisses me off, honestly. I've seen more Aaron Rodgers commercials than highlights of him for this year, and that should tell you something. I have no idea how they are in playoffs, but I don't know. It upsets me. It greatly upsets me. But we cannot underestimate the sheer will of not giving up. I think we've seen Aaron Rodgers triumphantly win games in the last, and literally in the last seconds. In the last seconds, we're not talking about minutes. We're talking about seconds. We're talking about having a first down after first down, going from a 20-yard line on his side of the field all the way to 30-yard line on the opposite team, and then either score, going for a Hail Mary or going to a field goal, whatever. But they're not gonna give up. The answer, I think, for the Packers would be if their defense could stop Wilson. If they're able to, Wilson is such a beast. If I don't know, Wilson is 5'10". He's my height. 5'10", I don't know, 5'10", 5'11", who cares? But he his arm is like, how do I express how I feel about this game? All right, let's go back to 2014. It was NFC Championship, right? NFC Championship, whoever wins goes into the Super Bowl, right? Big time, big shot, right? And oh my God, the Packers were beating them so bad that we're talking about, oh man, we're talking about 20 something points. Packers in the lead, third quarter, and then Seahawks started coming back. They had a overtime. Seahawks win the cost coin. Oh, my British coming in. Cost coin. The coin cost. Whoa. The coin cost. Yeah, there you go. Jesus. All right. We're gonna be wrapping up here. Coin cost and then coin toss. Yeah. and then Seahawks won, and then they're at the 5-yard line or something like that. Wilson wants to throw once again. He throws up in the air, wanting to get rid of it, and then at the 1-yard line, one of his teammates, I can't remember, it was Baldwin, I think it was Baldwin. He caught the ball, and it was the 1-yard line. He had two defensive lines on him, and then he caught it, and then just kind of like jumped backwards because his back was to the end zone, and then they got the touchdown and they won. So I don't know. This is a game that I don't know if I'm gonna stay up to watch, but I really want to. We'll see. I probably will fall asleep, but Seahawks has more talent, but the Green Bay can discern how, your play is really bad, like which plays you're going to be playing, how the offense is going to be saturated, the wide receivers, how they're going to be saturated, and what kind of plays you're going to be calling. Last meet that they had, the Seahawks won, 27-24 in the regular season. And I think that's how it's going to be. I think that's it's going to be 27-24. Seahawks going to be winning. It probably can go into overtime, you cannot underestimate this game. This is the only game that I would not bet my money on, just because I'm afraid to guess. I'm really afraid to guess, but we'll see. From what we've talked about, right? From what we said right here, I think that, let's say, Seahawks versus 49ers, it's going to be NFC Championship, right? Seahawks versus 49ers, and then Chiefs versus Ravens. And I think it's going to be Ravens versus the Seahawks. I think that's going to be the Super Bowl. That's going to be my prediction. Who knows? I hope I'm wrong, but at the same time, I hope I'm right. Because I had Patriots and Seahawks in the Super Bowl, so at least one is going to be correct, okay? Give me at least that. Come on. Anyway, so thanks for watching. That's been it. I really want to hear your opinion. Please comment down below if you want to subscribe to the YouTube channel, watch us on Spotify or Apple Podcast, Apple Tunes, iTunes, iPodcast. I don't know. Who cares? But anyway, you can find us there. That's been it. Thank you so much for watching and listening to wherever you at. Thank you for giving me 30 minutes of your time. And I'm excited to talk more sports. There's more podcasts that I've planned out to do in the next couple of weeks, and I'm really excited about it because it's not just going to be about football. It's going to be every single sport, especially the Olympics. Olympics 2020 is coming out, and I don't know. There's just so much information roaming about it, and so I really want to handpick and kind of give it to you guys, kind of like a top 10 things that's happening with Tokyo Olympics 2020. So anyway, that's been it. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one. Don't forget to tell me how you feel about the predictions. All right, peace.